I hear thee.
Good afternoon and welcome to On the Spot Motorsports Media. I'm your host, Mitchell Gunter, along with Robert Simpson. And I tell you, Robert, thank you for continuing supporting this and being my co-host. And I think you probably didn't know what you was getting yourself into when I first asked you. But I tell you what, it's been a fun ride so far. But tonight we got a great show. We have Broc Porter joining us. We're going to talk about Beech Bend Raceway Park. I tell you, there's a lot of history there that dates back all the way to the 1880s. And believe it or not, the land was purchased, I believe, back then at 10 cents an acre. And it started off as a spot for people to have picnics. Well, that has gone on through the years and to better and better things. But before we bring Broc on and discuss about the history of Beech Bend Raceway Park and also their upcoming events, we got a couple of commercials that we're going to run. We always got to thank our partners, Redline Oil, Scorpion Racing Products, for everything that they do for us. And not only do we have them as a sponsor on our podcast, we also use their products.
We do. Great products. And everybody stay tuned. This ought to be a lot of fun.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit. We'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.
Well, Broc, I want to thank you for joining us tonight, and talk about that wonderful facility y'all have up there in Kentucky. I mean, the place is beautiful. It seems like y'all always have something going on. And, of course, y'all have had to deal with some weather a little bit this year, a little bit of flooding and overcome that as well. So, again, welcome to On the Spot Motorsports Media.
Thank you, and thank you all for inviting me on tonight. I really appreciate the opportunity and look forward to chatting with you all tonight.
We appreciate it, Broc. Your crazy busy schedule. The first time I met you was at the Tri-Fi Nationals. You were standing the back of the water box before the event started, and I was walking around asking, I was taking pictures and stuff like that, and I was asking, said, who's the track manager? And everybody just did one of these and just pointed, didn't know your name or anything. They just pointed and said him. So I walked over to you, and you were just as nice and gave me your number, and we started the conversation from there. So I just want to tell you thank you for coming on here and talking with us tonight.
Thank you. It's always a scary question to answer whenever you're like, I don't know which way is it going to go. I mean, it might be this other guy.
No. I agree. And that's why when I came up and introduced myself and you looked at me, you didn't look at me cross-eyed, but you looked at me reluctant like I would. You know what I mean? So, I gave you my contact first. You know what I mean? And I said, if you want to, or another representative, I said, it's perfectly fine. And you're like going, okay. So then we just kept in contact, and then you're like, all right. Then you talk to me, which I don't blame you. I can't imagine, but
I'm more like, when we met in the water box, if you were getting ready to, scold me about something somebody did, I was going to pass the buck to somebody else, Well,
yeah, I know, but that's why I started the conversation is like going, hey, I don't have any complaints. That's literally the first thing out of my mouth is like, I got no complaints, because I've been on that receiving end more times than not, so I can understand where you're coming from there. But I tell you, Mitchell hasn't been to Beech Bend yet. I've been there since the 80s. I got family that lives in Bowling Green, so we come up there and visit. So we come to the track as much as we can, whether it's Test and Tune or whether it was the original Sports Nationals, or now currently I'm going up there for the Tri-Fi events. And I tell you what, that is it's a very unique place with a very homey feel. And it's hard explaining it unless you've actually gone, but you've been going there pretty much your entire life.
Yeah, it truly is home to me, my entire family, and to a lot of racers. They feel like it's home too, and yeah, it does. It's a unique facility and a unique setting. It's special to a lot of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what's so neat is the history of the track, and how it all came about. Like I was saying, I think it was like 1881. It was, the land was being purchased for 10 cents an acre, I think, by Mr. Gavin at that time. Don't quote me, but it's kind of hard to count all the history in my head.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who the original owners were. The ones that really made it popular in the 70s and 60s and 70s was the Garvin family. And it may have been their family that purchased it all the way back in the 1800s. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, the Garvin family had done a lot out here up until the late 70s, whenever they sold the property actually to Ronnie Millsaps. And then he had it for about 2 years, and it went back to the Garvin family. And that's whenever Dallas Jones purchased it in 1984, December of 84.
Okay. I heard Ronnie Millsap owned it, but I thought he owned it for a longer period of time. I thought he owned it right before your grandfather bought it, but clearly that wasn't the case.
Yeah. It was like 1981, 82, something like that, maybe 3. There's about a 2-year period, best I know.
Wow. Right. And since your grandfather bought it in 84, the place has transformed and continued to grow. All the way up till present day. I mean, when did you get involved?
I got involved when I was in grade school. I used to come up, and my first attraction to it was a circle track, which sits right behind the water box of the drag strip. But I used to come up. I used to love the stock car races, and would ride up with my aunt and uncle at the time to play at the stock car races while they worked. And so that was kind of my initial introduction to Beech Bend Raceway.
Right. And just to jump back a little bit in history, I think the dirt track races were actually going on, and that was at the time that the drag strip was probably in its days of being constructed. And like some of the other tracks, and sorry about the phone going crazy, everybody must be watching the show. But one of the things about it was, like some of the other drag strips in the South, it started out as dirt, as I recall.
Yep. Yeah, they started circle track racing motorcycles in like 1944, 1946. I think 46 may have been the first year they actually held a race with motorcycles on a dirt oval. And to the best of my knowledge, they started drag racing in 56.
Okay.
So it's been going on a long time. I guess technically next year will be our 70th year drag racing at Beech Bend Raceway.
That's saying something. That is definitely saying something. Now, the original dirt track, it wasn't in the same location as the current oval track, was it?
Yeah, roughly the same location.
Really? Really? Okay. I was assuming it'd be farther down the property. Just assumption. But okay, so you've always been involved with dirt track racing or circle track racing pretty much your entire life, correct?
For the most part. We actually quit circle track racing here in 2013, I think was our last year running the circle track. So we're about 10 years removed from running stock car races now. Something possibly we'll get back into, one day, but not sure just yet.
Understood. Mitchell?
Yeah, one of the things I want to bring up, I don't think people actually understand how big the property really is. You know, they think of Beech Bend, they think of the drag strip, but I want to throw up a picture here to give everybody
Yeah.
a sense of what it actually looks like if you go to the facility. I mean, it's just humongous, and you'll have like a small amusement park that's right there nearby. Just a lot of things to do for families besides just drag racing.
Yeah, it truly is a family friendly facility from top to bottom. We have about 368 acres total. I can't remember how it's broke up, but it's, the amusement park, the campground, the drag strip, and then there's also a farm that's in that picture. We use a lot of it for parking and different things for other events. But it's about 360 some acres total.
Gee whiz. Yeah, that picture doesn't show the campground. What's really beautiful, Mitchell, is the campground's kind of like under the trees. At least part of it is under the trees, and also it goes around the edge of the river. Is it the Barren River?
Barren River, yeah.
Barren River that wraps around the facility. And I tell you, I forgot to send you the video, Mitchell. I recorded it last year driving into the facility down the main road coming in. It's like a postcard. It's got one of the most beautiful views coming into a track. So
right, and that's the whole meaning how the track got its name was because of the river, of the U-shaped bend there at the river.
We're nestled in the bend of the Barren River, and there's always been a lot of beech trees in this area too. So that's where that's why beech is spelled like a beech tree, BEECH,
mm-hmm.
And that's what Beech Bend was named for.
It keeps it simple. I like it. Tell you something. Now, Beech Bend has always been ahead of itself on many things, like you said, from the family-friendly atmosphere, the amusement park, but also the covered stands, and that goes all the way back to the circle track when the circle track was really pumping. Before, and actually when the drag strip was started on the start finish line, actually was the starting line of the drag strip. You had covered stands even then. What was in your grandfather's mind and all that stuff as far as putting covers over the stands? I mean, that's really forward thinking.
Well, that goes back to the Garvin family. They were the ones that put all of that in, and the stock car, the circle track, when it shared the start and finish line, as a starting line for the drag strip, the grandstands over there were covered also. And then at that time, the drag strip ran a different direction than what it currently does today. In the early 70s, the Garvin family turned the drag strip to its current configuration, and that's when they put in the covered grandstands here. I guess it probably goes back to Sunday was always race day at Beech Bend, even back, I'm assuming back in the 40s and 50s. There were newspaper clippings advertising the races, and it was Sunday. Sunday was race day, whether it was circle track racing, stock car racing. And I think I remember Dallas even talking about years where they would run a stock car race and a drag race on the same day, and one or the other would have to wait till that race was concluded before they could start the other race.
Right.
Now, I can remember when I was a kid, we have ran bracket Sunday races and then turned around and ran Sunday night stock car races in front of like a Labor Day holiday. And talk about wearing the screw out. It was rough. We only did that a couple of times and we learned our lesson.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, boy, you better live really close, right? Because you're going to be tired from that. Hey, see, speaking of that, you have events going on all the time there. Tell us, just as example, like, what kind of events y'all have had over the years and currently have.
Well, we do have a very busy schedule. We operate about 38 weekends a year. Typically from the 1st of March, we try to get open and run all the way up until the week before Thanksgiving. So it's about a 9-month season. There's not too many tracks this far north, I guess, that run that early and late in the year. But when we do get those early and late races in, it's usually good weather. But we have a wide variety of events. Anything from your local Tuesday night test and tune, Saturday, fun days, test and tune days, Sunday bracket racing. We do $10,000 to win bracket races. TV Promotions comes in and puts on a $100,000 race. It's in July of this year. It'll be here soon. The NHRA Wally Parks Nostalgia Nationals. It's a great event for us on Father's Day weekend. It's been a staple on our calendar for over 20 years now.
Right.
The Tri-5 Nationals, another great show, brings in 3,000 Tri-5 Chevrolets. It's just amazing. There's that many of them out there. It's really incredible. The NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series, we run Top Alcohol Dragster, Top Alcohol Funny Car at those events. That's our fastest event of the year. We have the AMRA Harley Drag in September. And our biggest event of the season is Holly LS Fest now.
Really?
LS Fest, I think it turns 16 years old
Right.
But yeah, it's our biggest event on the calendar now. About 50,000 people over 3 days.
I did not realize that.
Day.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
I had people at Holly. I had people at Holly tell me, this says, man, it's an event. You got to see it. But to hear it come out of your mouth, that many people.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's like the place is covered in ants. There's people everywhere.
I want to know where you park them.
It takes up most of the farm now.
Yeah, it's like going, I don't know where you're going to put them, but I mean, you know what to do. But I'm like going, oh my gracious.
Luckily, Holly hired a group, FM3 Marketing, years ago, and they started, coordinating a lot of that stuff, and owe them a lot of credit for figuring out how to get people in and out of our facility for an event that size. It has us busting at the seams, but it's I think it goes back to the feel of the track and the facility for an event like that. It just feels right, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an amazing thing, and Mitchell and I, we got to get up there for an LS Fest. I've had more than one person tell me that. I know you don't have an LS, and neither do I, but we got to go one day. But I tell you, Broc, tell us more about you. I mean, you've been doing this a long time, but tell us more about you. I mean, tell us how you got involved and what you like.
Well, nothing too exciting for me. I grew up at the racetrack and grew up working around the racetrack. Started coming here when I was in grade school, and just been coming ever since. Like I said, Dallas was my grandfather, so a lot of times in the summer, whenever I grew up about an hour away from the track, that's where we were from, and when I was out of school in the summertime, my mom would send me up with Dallas because he'd drive up here every day. He also owned a trucking company back home, but he would drive up here during the day, and so she'd ship me off up here, and I'd spend all day riding around on mopeds and playing while he was working. And but then as I got older, started having to work and do more, and so I've been around for as long as I can remember, and really transitioned into the track manager role when my uncle passed away, Clay Jones. He passed away in 2014. That was Dallas's son, and he was track manager at that time, him and Dallas both. But I had to, kind of step up at that time and had some big shoes to fill, and doing the best that I can to keep things going out here. But yeah, I'm just really fortunate. I love being at the racetrack. It's something I've always enjoyed. I mean, there's bad days, but there's more good days than bad. And luckily right now I've got a great team of guys working with me that make things happen week in and week out. And I definitely couldn't do it without the team here at Beech Bend.
Well, one thing I want to mention, Mr. Torres is on watching from South Georgia Motorsports Park. He left a comment up a while ago and says he's heard nothing but good things about you. So So everybody knows about you and the great job that you do up there. But one question I want to ask you, I know you've been there around your whole life. You worked the property. Have you ever been in a car and competed there?
A little bit. Back in about, well, I guess I can go back further. When I was in high school, I guess we had some old beater stock cars, or they were like front runners, I think we called them back then.
Your stalkers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I got to drive a couple of them when I was about 15, 16 years old. Never anything real competitive or serious, just playing more than anything. But then on the drag strip, about 2010, Dallas has a 66 Chevy 2 that me and my uncle Clay got out, and we played with it a little bit here on the drag strip. And got to make a few laps in competition, and actually even went up to Indianapolis and raced at the D3 bracket finals in 2010. So we had some fun with it. And then about 2011, Dallas, he said we needed to make a decision if we were going to work or have fun. We couldn't do both.
Right.
So I thought, well, I better get serious and get to work, I guess. So that's kind of when the racing stopped.
But that car has remained in the family, correct?
It is, yeah. It's still in the family. It's in the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame that's located in Central City, Kentucky, which is close to where I grew up and where Dallas is from. They moved the museum there back a few years ago, and I was able to call and ask them if they were looking for cars to put in it, because it'd just been sitting in the garage, in one of our garages, collecting dust and sitting there with the tires flat on it. I thought, maybe if they'll take it, they'll at least keep it wiped down and keep it looking decent. And
Right.
a lot of people did like the car. And Dallas had a lot of race cars over the year. He raced a lot in the 60s and 70s. And so, he was popular with a lot of people, being a racer before a track operator. And so as being his last race car, they were happy to put it in the museum, and they haven't called me yet to come and get it. So I assume they like having it still.
Well, it's a beautiful car. I saw it on your Facebook page, and I think we were discussing, like, it was originally at one time a super stock car, probably a Super L car, something like that, 283 4-speed, probably at one time. And actually, it was you called it a sister car because of who painted it, but to Robin Brown. Robin
Yeah.
Brown's out of Kentucky with his earth shattering, is what I'll always call it. Super K car Chevy 2, the first one in the nines, I might say, 283, first one with 3 digits on a timesheet legally. I was there in Montgomery. I saw it with my own eyes. Okay, I'll stop my rant. Okay, so
It was an awesome car to see make a pass. Man, that thing was bad.
oh my goodness, it was. And just to see the results of how quick it would run, it just shake your head. And that was what, 20 something years ago almost, that he went to the
Probably
night?
so. I'm thinking it was, early 2000s is the last time I really remember seeing it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's even more impressive the more you think about it during that time in that era. But sorry, Mitchell, I didn't mean to get off topic, but he said
no,
Chevy
not at all.
2s, and I got a soft spot in my heart for him. Super stock Chevy 2s. But you see, that's something else about Beech Bend that's really good. You have a lot of stock, super stock combos that are put on there, and they're quite popular. I mean, from what I could tell, they have a lot of really good supporters.
Yeah, we're very fortunate in this area between Louisville and Nashville that has a lot of stock and super stock racers close by. And as far as I know, we're probably one of the last few tracks running a local points race for stock, super stock combo, NHRA legal stock and super stock. We do about a 5 or 6 race schedule every year for stock and super stockers. Of course, this year we've been battling rain, seems like all the time, and we have only gotten 1 race in, I think, out of the 3 already on the schedule. But hopefully we can make them up later in the year. But yeah, we're blessed in this area with a lot of NHRA racers and a lot of tough, former division champions, national champions, are in the lanes for our stock super stock combo a lot of times.
Oh yeah. You got a lot of hitters that are out of that surrounding area. Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee area. Big turnouts. Not only that, you got Jegs, you got Jeff Taylor coming out of those areas, just to say just a couple to at minimum. But Blackbird Performance is now just right not far from y'all, I don't think.
No, probably about 15, 20 minutes away from us, maybe 30. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's Jeff's home track, I believe now is there.
Yep.
So,
he comes to test with us quite a bit during the week.
And, Jeff Turk, he's a awesome guy, just a really awesome guy, really good to talk to. Fills your head full of knowledge every time you talk to him. I mean, if it's about Mopar, he's got the answer for you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That is true. That is so true. Mitchell?
Tell us a little bit about the amusement park. How often is it opened, for people to be able to use it?
The amusement park season kind of follows the school schedule in this area. So it opens on weekends around Mother's Day, and then it opens during the week when school kind of lets out, closer to Memorial Day. Open throughout the summer, 7 days a week, until September, August. I think August it goes back to weekends, and then September it starts shutting down. But it is a great little amusement park for families that can come out and enjoy it. Season passes are the way to go. You can get a season pass for like $80 and come and go, every day of the year. And even we have racers that'll come for 2 or 3 weekends a year that'll buy a season pass. And every time they're here, it only takes like 2 days to pay for itself. We see that a lot, but families love it. Go up and float around in the lazy river when it's hot out, and dad's down here racing, but it's a great addition to our facility, and helps make Beech Bend what it is, and unique in its own way.
Now, the same question goes with the campground. I take it the campground is a year round?
It is year round. It mainly fills up on bigger race weekends, but like Tri-Fives, the Wally Parks Nostalgia Nationals, LS Fest, it's packed to the gills over there. But yeah, it's open actually through the winter and everything. The only time we've had to close it down is when we go underwater, because if the track's underwater, the campground's underwater, so we had to evacuate and get people out.
Right. That's and speaking of that, you've had that situation. Is it once or maybe even twice this year already?
Yeah, twice this year. It's not uncommon for us to get underwater once a year. It's getting more and more common, unfortunately. But a lot of times when we go under, it might be 6 inches deep on the track, or just on the return road or something like that. But this year we had 2 really bad, the worst floods we've had since 2010. We had about, I guess, 8 feet deep or so on the starting line of the drag strip. And then the second flood, it was probably about 5 to 6 feet deep on the starting line of the drag strip. So it was right at the first flood was right at the bottom of the scoreboards. So that kind of gives reference to how much water was out here.
Gee whiz.
Well, don't tell Garrett Mitchell about it, because, are you familiar with Garrett Mitchell?
Yeah. And Garrett's been here a time or two. He used to come back in the days of Streetcar Takeover. He come with them a couple of times, and he's been to LS Fest before. So had the pleasure to meet Garrett a few times while he was here.
Yeah, because I tell you what, he hears about it being flooded. I don't know if you've seen the video when Bradenton got flooded. He actually took that little speedboat as his and was running it up and down the track.
Yeah, it's I don't know if I would want to run up and down the water here whenever we get flooded. It's almost like a flash flood. It's some pretty swift and dirty, muddy water.
Yeah, it is. It's that real clay based. And I tell you, every time I've been there in August, that river, it looks like it places like it's a good 6-7 foot down off the edge. I'm sure it's not all the way around, but
there's a lot of places in August you can walk across it. I mean, it's We have some neighbors that come and race with us quite a bit. They get out and jet ski on it some, and there's times whenever it's too shallow in spots to jet ski through there. Normal pool, the gauge that we watch, it's around 8 feet deep or so. But it jumped up to 39.5 feet in the first flood this year. So it can jump 30 feet, pretty quick.
Gee whiz. Yeah, there's zero. That obviously nothing you can do about that except just try to get out and go to high ground and just let it be.
Well,
Yeah,
I
luckily
tell
with
you,
modern forecasting, we have a pretty good heads up of if we're going to have to do that. It's not a surprise quite like it was, years and years ago. Doesn't make it any better. Well, I guess it does make it better. You can get more out and get stuff out of the way. But yeah, clean up still be rough.
Oh, that's an understatement.
and I tell you, you got a great crew because I've seen what it looked like after those floods, and for y'all to be able to go in there and get all the muck back off the track, I know y'all really bust y'all's rear ends.
Yeah, we do.
Here as fast as y'all can, so y'all can get some racing in.
Yeah, we're blessed to have a really, really good crew that gets in there, and you just have to jump in and start somewhere, and do the best you can to get it cleaned up as quick as you can. But it's great to know that we've got a good crew that will do that, and not just not scared of the work ahead of them, I guess.
Right.
Well, just if someone wanted to come there for one of your big events, what are some of the host hotels do y'all have in the area for people to stay?
Well, we don't have a true dedicated connection to a particular hotel, but Bowling Green is full of hotels. I don't know how many rooms are in Bowling Green now, but it's thousands. We do have one valued partner here at Beech Bend, the Bowling Green Area Visitors Convention Bureau. Visit bgky.com. Big supporters of us out here at Beech Bend Raceway. They love everything we do. And you can find all the hotel information on their website at visitbgky.com. But there's a lot of great places to stay. Airbnbs are popping up all over the place. So there's a lot of options, and we're really close to town. I mean, you're 3 miles till you're in downtown Bowling Green, pretty much from the racetrack. You get out here and you feel like you're, miles away from anything, but you're really close to being in town. You're 15 minutes from most of the hotels, restaurants, and all of that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what, you heard it here first. So if you want to go to one of their events this year or next following year, don't be shy. Going up to Beech Bend Raceway Park, and there's plenty of hotels and motels for you to stay.
Bowling Green has a lot going on between Western Kentucky University, the Corvette Museum, the Corvette Assembly Plant, and I tell you, I'm trying to remember the name. We even went and watched the AAA baseball team, and I think one of them is called the Hot Rods, and and then I can't remember the other team. And man, we had a great time.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
The Bowling Green Hot Rods. I think they're celebrating about 15 years being in Bowling Green now, and they are the minor league team. I don't remember if it's AAA or which one it is, but it's a Tampa Bay affiliate team. I don't get to go as often as I'd like, but I always enjoy going to the games, and they're always a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Always had a ball every time we've gone. We've gone to watch basketball games at Western and football games at Western. My uncle is an alumni there from way back in the day, so obviously he loves it, and so always enjoyed it. And I tell you, and it is an absolutely beautiful area. It really, really is. I take it you live close to the track yourself.
Yeah, I'm about 15 minutes away. Went to school at Western, graduated 2009, actually with a civil engineering degree, and have a background in civil engineering. Worked in the field for about 6 years, long enough to get my engineering license. So I have a professional engineer's license that's inactive now. But that's what I went to school for, and no longer use at all.
Well, in a way you do when time arises, you know,
Yeah.
you're
But yeah,
right.
Western is a great school. Really enjoy. I used to love going to basketball games when I was in school. I hadn't been to one in a long time, but Courtney Lee was the star player at Western when I was there, and he went on to have an NBA career. So it's pretty
Right.
cool to see that. I don't know if he still plays or not, but
I don't know.
he was a great player back in 2005, 2008 time frame.
Right. Now, go ahead, Mitchell.
Okay, I was just going to get us a little commercial break in here. And I tell you what, we'll be right back after these messages.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
With more than 30 years of engine and drivetrain experience, Big Stuff is your one-stop total power management solution. Whether you're controlling a 600 horsepower street car and want the best drivability, or have a 6,000 horsepower race car, need the most bulletproof, reliable control hardware, Big Stuff can do it all. All of our components are designed and manufactured right here in the USA, including our computers, wiring harnesses, touchscreen displays, and more. Nothing is built offshore, and we take pride in being one of the only automotive aftermarket manufacturers that can say this. Learn more at BigStuff3EFI.com or connect with us on Facebook and Instagram for more information.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.
All right, if you're just joining us, this is On the Spot Motorsports Media. I'm your host, Mitchell Gunter, along with Robert Simpson. And our guest tonight is Broc Porter, the track manager at Beech Bend Raceway Park.
Welcome.
I was going to let you go ahead, Robert.
sorry. We had a pause. I looked over like, oh, that was me. Okay.
Yeah, I was like looking at Robert. I'm like, anytime now.
I'm not used to that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Brock. We've had a long work week like we know you have too. But
Good.
Once again, everybody, if you're just joining us, this is Mr. Broc Porter, the track manager and operator of Beech Bend Raceway Park. And we've been talking about the wonderful history at the track, all the amazing things that they offer there, from the water park to the campgrounds, to the amusement park, to the great racetrack, the beautiful setting, the covered grandstands, and it's a really great place to go. And put it this way, the grass is green all the way out in the pits, all the way to the turnoff. It's not just partially. It's grass and green all the way out there. I don't know how y'all keep it up.
Yeah, we get asked that question a lot. Like, how long does it take to mow? There
you go.
You don't stop. If it's not raining, there's somebody on a mower out here just about every day. We might take a Sunday off, but no, if it's not raining, there'll be somebody on a mower because we never run out of spots to mow.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Kentucky bluegrass. I mean, I'm assuming that's not bluegrass, but you know what I mean, as far as the breed of grass, but still, oh my gracious, it is beautiful. Sorry, Mitchell, go ahead. He's right about cutting the grass.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you, tell us a little bit about y'all's marketing partners that help y'all out there at Beech Bend, because, you know, we want to get them mentioned because, you know, it's really hard to do it by yourself. And it's always great to have support like that.
Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't do it by ourselves. We have some great partners here at Beech Bend. Hopefully, I don't leave any of them out, but Holly Performance Products, being headquartered right here in Bowling Green for several years now, or was, they've always been a strong supporter of Beech Bend Raceway, Summit Racing Equipment, Brian Tooley Racing, Quick Fuel Technology, World Products, the Mint here in Bowling Green, a new sponsor for us this year. Renegade Race Fuels, Law Chevrolet, Oakley Motorsports, Engine Performance. Visit bgky.com. Quick Performance, Vortec, Racetech Pistons, Jake's Muffler and Brake, D93, Bowling Green's Classic Rock, always helping us out and getting word out for events. It's a slew of sponsors that we are so grateful to have on board here at Beech Bend Raceway, and the whole town for the most part supports about everything we do. All the restaurants and the hotels, they love it. We pack town with car enthusiasts, as long as they don't get too rowdy.
Right. Well, that goes without saying. There's been a couple events, like I'm trying to remember the motorcycle event that happened back in the mid '70s, and it was over the top. Every article I read, just the amount of people that showed up, and just
1978, the Big Boogie.
Okay, that's it. That's the one, the Big Boogie.
That's someone that Bowling Green has not forgotten.
Apparently,
yeah.
If I found the article, apparently they have not forgotten about it.
Yeah, but, it was a blemish, on Bowling Green or Beech Bend. There was a lot of rough characters that come in for that event. They wreaked some havoc in town. But the Harley races that we have now, it's nothing like it used to be.
Right.
So it's a much calmer crowd. But yeah, anytime the Harley drags start kind of gaining steam and getting big again, there's some unhappy residents that can't forget the Big Boogie.
But I mean, I want to say there was something like 30,000 people, 40,000.
I honestly don't know. That was before our family was involved. Like I said, at 1978, so I don't know what kind of true numbers they had. But I've seen pictures. I don't know if it was. I've got some copies of like Easy Riders magazine, I think it is, from that time frame that covered it. And yeah, it looked pretty rowdy.
I can only imagine, because they talked about the great competition in the article that I read, the classes that were there and all that stuff, and it a huge turnout, people from all over the country, and I think several people from overseas. So had an amazing racing following. But just the way they described it, because they just don't know how that many people got in there, and they did. They did. But they
figured it out.
Yeah, they figured it out. Well, tell us, what other big races? You have a long list of marketing partners that you work with, which is great, and I've followed many of them for many years. But what other big races do you have going on this year, towards the end of your calendar?
The end of the calendar, September is our busiest month of the year. Kind of get started. The last weekend of August, we have the NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series makes a stop here before the Nationals at Indy the weekend after. So that's always a great event for us. 500 to 600 NHRA racers usually here for that event. It's our fastest race of the year, running top alcohol dragster and funny car. 270 mile an hour now, and for us, it's big now. We can advertise nitro with most of the alcohol dragsters running the A-fuel injection engine combination now. Since we don't run big show cars at any time, to advertise nitro and funny cars draws pretty decent for us. But then moving on into September, the weekend after Labor Day is always LS Fest. Holly LS Fest is always the very next weekend after the U.S. Nationals. Then we roll into Holly Mo Party, which is their Dodge Mopar event. Then the Harley drags make their return, and then it's Holly Ford Fest after that to round out the end of September. So a lot of big events packed into September, which typically we have some of the best weather of the year in September. If you can hit 4 weekends of good weather in that time frame, it makes for a good month. Very rarely do you get all 4 weekends of good weather. Last year, Hurricane Helene ruined the NMRA All Ford World Finals. It was a complete washout of a weekend, and even worse for the folks in North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee than it was for us. But then rolling into October, we have an import event. We have Big Bucks bracket racing again in October, and the Nostalgia Drag Racing League comes back for their final race of the season. It's in October. It's the Nostalgia Fall Classic for us. It's their final points race of the year.
Yeah, y'all definitely stay busy. I was going to throw up a couple of flyers so you can actually tell us a little bit about these other races.
That's this weekend's Wild Street race. It's scheduled for Saturday. Something we started doing last year, and we've done it off and on over the years, but small tire radial prep racing is it's ebbed and flowed over the years, but right now it's kind of hot, and we've got a lot of racers in this area. So we've got a $3,000 small tire no time race this Saturday night. We run a couple of supporting classes with that, but it's hopefully we get this one in. We've got 5 on the schedule. This is number 3. First 2 have been rained out already, and honestly, the forecast doesn't look good for this one. So it's kind of been the story of the year, but nothing you can do about it, but see what unfolds. But hopefully it's a good weekend for us. That's the 10G at BG race. That's big bucks, $10,000 to win each day. The new marketing partner there with the Mint of Bowling Green sponsoring that race. So if you don't win big at the track that day, you can head into town and pull slots, and maybe you'll win big there. But they formerly known as and most of the locals still call it the 10 Tuck Series.
Yeah, that's the name I remember.
Yeah, we kind of revamped it a little bit. I don't know, a few years ago, changed the format and tried to revamp it, but most everybody just calls it 10 Tuck still. But it's still a good race on our calendar for us.
Are you still associated with Music City and stuff with those events?
Yeah, it's still our sister track. Dallas owned half of that raceway as well. His oldest daughter, Charlotte, and her husband, Rick, still operate that facility. They usually come up and help us during that weekend. They'll shut down back then. And most people don't know the history of the 10 Tuck name, but back in the early 80s, that race traveled to 3 different tracks in this area. One night was Clarksville, Tennessee. One night was Music City, which is Nashville, Tennessee. And then Sunday, I think, was typically the Bowling Green stop. So it was 10 Tuck, and it was TENN for Tennessee. Right. And then after Dallas purchased Music City Raceway, I think is when he moved all of the races to Bowling Green. And probably around that time, it was growing to or outgrowing the other facilities. So it moved it up to Bowling Green at that time.
Yeah, I remember it had a good following, and it was a good series, and there was a lot of heavy hitters that were just following certain series like that. And that's one of the reasons LaBoose originally moved up there from out of Georgia and moved up to Tennessee areas is to get involved with that series, and among others. But he was one of them.
There's a lot of heavy hitter bracket racers. Nowadays they're everywhere, but a lot of the big names from the 90s were from the Bowling Green, Nashville area. It used to not be uncommon to see them in the staging lanes of a Sunday bracket race or at Music City on Saturday night. And some of them still frequent both places when they're not at a bigger race out of town somewhere.
Right.
Now, I may be wrong. I want to say that Luke Bagaki has actually raced in that event.
Yes.
Yeah, Luke's won that race in the past. I can't remember the year, but I know he has won that race years ago, and he still come. He'll come to some every now and then if his schedule allows.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So
I tell you what, he's a great racer, and got to meet him when they had another series going on. It was the sponsor was Barker Trailer Sales, and I forget the other sponsor, but it was the Bracket Race Results Series, I think what it was, and it was going on mostly down around the southeast, and that's where I actually got to know Luke from. But excellent racer.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And a super nice individual too. Just a pleasure to talk to and chat with.
Yep, like most racers. Now tell me something, Brock. I'm curious. If you had the opportunity to drive or race anything, okay, or drive alone, okay, what would it be? It could be street car, it could be something exotic, it could be a race car. What would it be?
Oh shoot, I don't know. Honestly, I've never really thought a whole lot about it. I've always had a lot of respect for anything. Anything from a wheel standing bracket car that touches the bumper every now and then. It's awesome to see going down the racetrack. Top fuel Harley, I don't think I ever have the guts to, but man, what those guys do are freaking crazy.
Yes.
And
I
to
can
see
call
them
Larry McBride real quick and see if we can hook you up.
But
I think he probably agree with you.
To see him pick the front end up and carry it at 600 feet before it sets down and smokes the tire a little bit. I mean, it's just amazing. And at 220 some mile an hour, or a top dragster, top sportsman. I don't know. I don't know that I have what I would like to drive. I'd love the opportunity to drive about anything. But I've always told my wife I want to be cremated when I pass away, and there's about 3 different places I want to go, but I want to go 200 mile an hour. So I got to find somebody to pack me in the chute and send me on a 200 mile an hour blast.
I'm not going to promote that right now. You know what I mean? You're going to have to take care of that on your end. But the bottom line is you want to go 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'd love to say that I could do that. Yeah.
Okay, but does it have to be on a drag strip?
No, not so much, I guess. But I'd prefer it on the drag strip. The acceleration would be, something to feel. One thing that is cool right here in Bowling Green, the Corvette racetrack down the road from us, NCM Motorsports Park. You can actually go out there and drive one of the newer model Corvettes for like $300. Now you got to have insurance, and if something happens, you're going to be paying for it. But they'll let you go about as fast as you want to go. We were privileged to go out a couple of years ago with a group, and I can't remember the chief of police from Bowling Green was there. One of the sheriff's deputies, some of the visitor center people were with us. I think some of the guys from Holly, and we had them up 120, 140 mile an hour going down the straightaway. And it was a lot of fun. So for anybody coming to Bowling Green, check that out. You can just about any day of the week over at the NCM Motorsports Park, you can do that in a new model Corvette.
The key words is $300 in insurance.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the key words. It's not, you can't have just one. You have to have both.
Yeah, they're not gonna let you tear anything up that you can't pay for.
Yeah, well, that's a good policy to stick by.
Yeah.
Well, tell us something now. We know you can go online. You can go online and find Bowling Green, okay, Raceway Park. Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you have or any other social media outlets?
We're mainly active on Facebook. We do have beachbend.com. That's our landing page for the amusement park, campground, and drag strip. We do have the Facebook page is our best outlet, I guess you could say. We have about 50 some thousand followers on Facebook. I have an Instagram page. I'm not well versed in Instagram, but we do have it out there. And then we have a YouTube channel that I wanted to be more active with it years ago, but and video editing takes so much time. I just haven't been able to. But I had found some old 8mm film from Dallas's home videos of racing here in the 60s and 70s. So all of that can be found on our YouTube channel. There's about 3 or 4 videos from that time frame on the Beech Bend. I can't remember what the label of it is, but if you search Beech Bend Raceway channels, there is one there.
Yep. We saw it. We just didn't have an opportunity to edit some of it to bring it up here tonight. Yeah, the one I really liked, Mitchell saw it too, where the starting line was in the middle of the circle track, and they were running mid '60s Chevrolets and Fords, and they had some match race cars. And the big thing that, like you and I mentioned, Brock, that was interesting is you had to go out and race out past turn 4 of the circle track before you got a guardrail on the right hand side. And I'm like, ooh. I'm like, I was like, ooh, okay.
A little sketchy compared to today's standards, but yeah. And then one thing too, in one of those videos, you'll notice, and there's old newspaper clippings that advertise drag racing, rain or shine. And one of those videos, you can tell that the ground is wet. And I can remember Dallas talking about that. Yeah, back in them days, we raced rain or shine. He said we might slow down for a little bit until the storm passed, but then we went back to racing. And he said the trick was you could change tires. You'd put on a groove tire, and you'd get over close to the wall where it wasn't nearly as wet. You'd get a little better traction over there. And so yeah, that was probably in the '60s.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just a get it done attitude, or if it's just a little touched in the head, and it's like going, if it don't bother you, it don't bother me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If we're here to race, let's race.
I've only been involved in one race at the old Jack's Raceway, and it was on street night, which used to be Tuesday night. So it was like street night gambler race, test and tune, that kind of thing like that. And it got down to the finals of 2 classes. And I was working the ticket booth. Then it started raining, so I'm hollering down, say, hey, it's raining. They held off, and it rained good. And then they put it up to the racers if you want to race for it or not. Okay. And I'm like going, in my mind, like, are y'all crazy? Guess what? They all race for it. They all race for it. Of course, Dan McCall, Mitchell knows Dan McCall. He was in the final, and he's like going, well, I got a street car, literally a street car. So I'm not worried about this. So he just went and dialed everything up like 2 seconds, and you know what I mean, and won the whole event or whatever it was. But I saw people trying to do burnouts, and it was raining. I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness. But it was a show watching them go down the track and seeing the spray come off the tires. And I'm like, this is so wrong. This is so wrong.
Different time period, and people didn't think it was crazy, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely a little touched in the head. But I tell you what, now, how can people get a hold of you? Do they just need to leave a message when they call the track? And I mean the track. That is it best just to call the phone number for the track if they have any questions? Yeah,
they can call the office anytime. 781-7634 is our office line. My cell phone, everybody's got it. I don't mind giving it out. If you got a specific question, 270-543-7585. I'll 9 times out of 10, I'll answer. If I don't answer, it's probably because I'm talking to somebody else, and I'll try to call you back. But yeah, or my email, I'm always available by email. It's broc.porter@gmail.com. No K on Broc, it's BROC. A lot of people, it's a common mistake, but yeah, reach out anytime, and I typically am pretty good about getting back on messages from the office. So we'll try to be an open book here.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know I haven't been there personally, but I've seen a lot of pictures, seen a lot of videos of people posting races there at Beech Bend, and it is a wonderful facility. And by looking at it, I wish they put covers over a lot more stands. I really do.
People really do enjoy it, and it does make for a much more pleasant experience. And one one note we could mention about the covered grandstands. The spectator side of our racetrack has like the fold down chairback bleachers. Back a few years ago, somebody had asked me, like, where in the heck those come from? And I said, well, I don't know, but I'm going to dig into it. One of our local racers and a guy that's been around since, much longer than I have, he had always told us that they come out of Nashville. And so I did some digging, and to the best of our knowledge, they come out of a minor league ballpark in Nashville called Sulphur Dell Stadium. It was built in 1927 and demolished in 1968, which the demolished 1968 lines up to the current configuration of the track being turned in like 71. So I'm thinking, well, yeah, they could have been, trucked up here from that time frame and installed here. Sulphur Dell Stadium had a capacity of like 7,500 seats, I think. We've only got about 2,200 of them on the spectator side, but they were general admission seats were green and VIP seating was orange. And that's the primary colors that we have on our seats here. A lot of them are starting to show their age pretty bad, but there's a lot of them that are still in good condition, especially if you think about them being in the current place that they're in for 50 years now, or over 50 years. And then I don't know, but there's a possibility that they were original in 1927 in Nashville. So I don't know if that stadium ever went through renovations and replaced seats or not. But if it did, then the seats themselves could be nearly 100 years old.
Jeez.
That's a cool story just in itself.
One other perk to it, Babe Ruth played an exhibition game there when he was with the Yankees. I don't remember what it was, but there was an exhibition game played there and Babe Ruth played at Sulphur Dell Stadium. So there's a chance that people sat in those seats and watched Babe Ruth play baseball, and now they're watching drag racing at Beech Bend.
Oh man, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of history that I didn't know about. I know they came out of a minor league baseball stadium, but I didn't know the time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, okay. So when are you going to put them on the other side?
Well, I don't have enough of them to put over there. We've been in some talks with contractors about renovating the grandstands. Not that we want to, but like I said, some of them are starting to show their age pretty bad, and we've tried to go through and work on them as best we can. But as you can imagine, something that age, it's not like you can buy replacement parts or anything like that for it. And then on top of that, it's just a big bleachers are a big expense. It's astronomical. And then if we do renovate in any shape or form, we definitely have to keep our covered grandstands. People have come to know that Bowling Green has covered seating, and we can't let that go. So we would have to reinstall that.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it's one of the things that it's known for. Plus the location of the track on how the grass comes right up to the edge of the wall. So it looks like the track's actually sunk a little bit in relation to the grandstands. I know the stands are higher, but it's just, you have an excellent view no matter where you're sitting. So and you're right up on the starting line. So you're actually, where you're sitting, you're almost to the water box. And if you're on the cruise side, you are at the water box. You're behind it slightly at the corner of the fence.
Yeah, it's something like probably 25, 30 feet from the edge of the wall to the, first seat on the grandstands. So it can be some excellent views.
Oh yeah.
Those roofs can really trap the noise too. You can get some, we sell a lot of earplugs.
I was getting ready to say the exact same thing. It will echo and ring your ears.
Especially when the Lucas Oil rolls into town, and you got the alcohol dragsters and funny cars going down.
Yeah, or next weekend during the Wally Parks Nostalgia Nationals, we run Nostalgia Top Fuel at it, so some nitro cackling at that.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's going to be a great show to say the least. We know somebody, Rocky Platt's going up there to have his his father's car on display. So he's going to have it at the Cackle Fest. But that's going to be a great show. So we encourage everybody, if you're anywhere in that area near Bowling Green, to look them up. Go to an event. They have something for you. Take the family, because depending on the time of the year, there's great entertainment right there at the track to keep, take care and cool everybody off and stuff like that. There's a lot of entertaining there. So we encourage everybody to go support Bowling Green. Not only the track, but everything around there, the restaurants, the entertainment, and everything. You're going to enjoy it.
Absolutely. We'd love to have everybody come visit us.
Absolutely. When I get up there in August, I'm going to look you up and say hello to you again.
Yeah.
I might even bring you a water if you want one.
We hopefully have Robert running around out in the pits a little bit and doing a couple of interviews with some of the drivers and get them posted up on our motorsports page. We did a little bit of that last year when Robert went, and I'll tell you, Robert, he enjoys it. Enjoys the Tri-5. And aren't you going to try to take a car up there, Robert?
If Lord willing, if everything works out, I'm taking my dad's 56 wagon up there. We brought it up several years back and showed it and had fun. And this year, Lord willing, I'm going to take it down the track and see what it'll run. Hopefully we keep it below 20 seconds.
And you might leave with a brand new car. Everybody that registers has a chance at winning that new hot rod.
That is true.
And those are some, they've given away some beautiful cars. I don't know if there's any other event out there doing anything like that, but your odds of winning, I mean, it's like 1 in 3,000. I don't know what that car is valued at, but I'm guessing $100,000 to $150,000, maybe even more than that.
Yeah. You're right.
The last year, local guy here in Bowling Green was the winner of it.
Really?
Yeah. And there's been a couple of them that have stayed in the state now. Another guy was from about an hour away that won the green 56 a couple of years ago. Right. Now I just made a post on Facebook about the one they're giving away this year, but I can't remember which year it was. But it might be a 55 again this year that they're giving away.
I think so, because I think the 50. There was a mint green 55. I want to say that was last year, and then before that, I think it was a 56. You're right. I mean, everything that they've built, that Woody's builds and all that stuff is absolutely just jaw-dropping beautiful. And you're right. And they go up there and spin the cooler, and they pull a kid out of the stands and come pick something and let it eat, and then they call the number and wait patiently and see if somebody comes running over there. But you're right. I totally forgot about that.
You have a better chance of walking away with one of those cars than winning the lottery.
Yeah, absolutely. Like 1 in 3,000. That's pretty good. That's a good chance.
That's a real good chance. That's a real good chance for sure. I never thought about it like that. I always thought about it like going, the number they pull is like the last one put in. I'm exaggerating when I'm saying that, like the last one put in will dig to the bottom, and then, then that one they pull is the very first ticket sold, It's like,
and another thing about that event, you have to be present to win it. And there's been 2 or 3 people that had left before, because it's 6:00 on Saturday night every year is when they give that car away. And if you're not there, then, they pass you by. And there's been at least 2, maybe 3 people, and there may be more, I can't remember, but that were not present. And they put a timer on it like 5 minutes. And if you're not there within 5 minutes, they pull the next one. And I thought, man, wouldn't you be sick if you were that person that left early that day?
I heard a rumor one time that somebody was on the phone with their friend that had just drove away, and he had his ticket on him, and he won. And I want to say the rumor was that he hollered out, it's like, "Oh, my buddy's got the ticket. He's going to turn around and come back." And the guy said, "No, if he ain't here, he ain't here." You know what I mean? And I'm like, I mean, he wasn't mean about it, but it's like going, what can we do? It's not like he's at his car in the parking lot.
Yeah.
He had left the premises, and I'm like going, "Ooh, yeah, that's a tough one," because the whole crowd is So
yeah, you hate it for him, but it kind of goes back to drag racing. Sometimes rules are rules, and
Yep.
You have to make a decision.
That's true. That's true.
It says
But
you have to be there. You have to be there.
you got to
Yep.
support it. You got to support it. But I tell you what, Brock, we really enjoy what Beech Bend is doing to support not only the community but the racers. I mean, you're putting on racing and opportunities, different style, like you said, the LS Fest, the Tri-Fi, the Nostalgia Racing, the Stock Super Stock Combo, the bracket racing, the No Prep. You have something for everybody, and I know y'all are looking to do other things too there if things work out, right?
Yeah, we truly do try to appeal to a wide audience and keep a lot of different things happening at Beech Bend to expose our facility to new people all the time, and hope that they come back and see us on a more regular basis, maybe. And yeah, there's tons of opportunity that I'd love to try some new things. I don't know that. And sometimes there's just too many irons in the fire to get new things done, but I would love to pursue some other forms of entertainment at the drag strip, whether it's a concert or a music festival, or I wanted to bring back a tractor or truck pool. And then a couple of years ago, we started doing some stuff with off-road trucks and the Ultra 4 series.
Oh, that'd be cool.
The Ultra 4 series had a stop back in May of this year. Got hammered with rain, but they had a race last year in April. They had one in May of this year. And then this year, they're actually having an Ultra 4 USA points race at LS Fest. So they've got about a 1 mile long short course up on the farm that they'll run the Ultra 4 trucks on. And it's a pretty cool show. A lot of those guys do stuff on trails like King of the Hammers,
Right.
Lands. A lot of that stuff is done on not a spectator friendly area, where this is a short course where you can pretty much see all of it from the hillside that we've kind of dedicated as spectator viewing. But that's another area that possibly we can expand in the future.
Okay.
I would like to see the tractor pulling, because I imagine you probably did it in the circle track, didn't you, or something like that, or in the backfield?
Yeah, the circle track is where I would like to try to do it again. We've talked about doing it in and we've obviously got room to do it in other areas, and it would probably be smarter to do it somewhere else. But the circle track, we have lights, we have PA, we have bathrooms, bleachers, food, beverage, all of that stuff is there. We just don't have any dirt. So maybe someday we can get some dirt put on there for an event and see how it goes. I talked to Bill Bader after he tried the tractor pull at his facility, and he told me not to do it, that I was crazy, that he was crazy for trying it. But I really want to try to give it a go one year.
Well, as long as you got the supporters around there, I mean, I don't see why not. You could probably do it with another festival going on around there.
Yeah, I think we're trying to build a truck event, and that's kind of what I would gear to try to tie it in with a truck event of some kind.
Okay, I can see that. I like that. So we both agree that it's great on how easy it is to get a hold of you. You just shared your email address, your cell phone, the front, everything but where your key's located. You know what I mean? So it's very easy to get a hold of anybody at Beech Bend Raceway Park and to ask questions. And I can admit, because when I called the front office, and you happened to pick up that day, and and talking just like this. So we encourage everybody to follow Beech Bend Raceway Park, to support the people that support Beech Bend, and support the events. And if you're not able to go to Bowling Green, go to your local track, wherever your track is. Go to your local track, circle track, drag racing, any kind of activity, automotive activity or something like that. Go support them.
Yeah, absolutely. Every track in the country needs people coming through the gates week in and week out. And that's one that back when we were dealing with all the flood waters and all of that, there's tons of people reaching out, offering help. And we were so grateful that they did. But the biggest help that they can provide is once we get cleaned up, get open, come see us, come through the gates, support us, but also, support every racetrack. If you enjoy them being there, try to support them and
Right.
keep their gates open. There's tracks all over the land that need more people to come through the gates week in and week out.
Agree
I agree
100%.
100%.
Absolutely.
And I tell you, anything that you have that's related to an event that you want us to post up on our page, feel free to send it to our email or send it to me by Facebook Messenger. Sometimes I just come across it on Facebook and I'll share those flyers. Doesn't matter what track it goes to. We try to put it up on the page to just get the word out. Someone may be traveling in that area that weekend. That's a drag race enthusiast, and they see it and say, you know what, we're going to be here this weekend. They got this event going on. So we try to do our share on our end and promote as well.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. I'll try to send you over some information.
All
Absolutely. Right. And Mitchell's tired of me sending him stuff that I find, half of it, he's like, I already got it. And, the other half of it, when he gets to it, then he'll post it and stuff like that. And we'll talk about it. But I tell you, Broc, from On the Spot Motorsports Media, we want to say thank you very much for you taking the time out of your crazy busy schedule. I can see the sun going down on you right now. You know what I mean? We appreciate you coming on here and telling us about the great, wonderful history of Beech Bend, what's going on and what's in store for the future, which we know it's going to be nothing but bright, great times.
Well, thank you all. Thank you all for having me on, giving me the opportunity to tell a little bit of our story. I truly appreciate that. And it was great talking with you all, and look forward to seeing you here in a month or so at Tri-5 Nationals.
Absolutely, Broc. We look forward to seeing you and talking to everybody there, and just, like I said, just coming to see it and enjoying it.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Broc. We appreciate it, buddy. I hope you have a great night.
All right, y'all too.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Later.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, what a great show. Talking about the history of the facility. I mean, anybody can go online and look it up. It's a great history of how this track has still been around. Like you said, they're fixing to celebrate their 70th anniversary. NHRA is only 5 years older than their facility, because they'll be celebrating their 75th anniversary starting next year at the Gator Nationals for the 2026 season. So just very remarkable.
Which I think it's, what is it, the 54th?
No, Gator Nationals is actually I think it's the 57th.
57th, yeah.
57th annual Amalie Oil Gator Nationals. Yes.
Oh, I'm just showing my age. Oh, I shouldn't talk like that. Okay. I've been going since I was in a stroller. So, yeah. But yes, it's really, really great talking to Broc about his family involvement and the history of the track. And you could definitely tell that they're family friendly. They're trying to do everything they can to accommodate to people, to racers, and to families and things like that. And like he said, the staff is excellent. Everybody from the front gate to and he's not kidding. It was drizzling one day we were up there, and there was a guy running a mower. And I'm thinking to myself, it's raining. And he just steadily getting it. And I'm like going,
still got to get done.
It's still got to get. That's what I thought too. It's like, well, it's still got to get done. It don't matter, and he's doing his job. And so it's appreciated. Everybody that works on the staff, starting line, water box, concession stand, just people riding around taking care of the garbage cans. Which remind everybody, if you're at the racetrack, put your garbage in the can, okay? And if you're not near a can, hang on to it till you are near a can. Just try to take care of the place as much as possible. We know things happen, but just try to take care of your place, because there's, you help others, they'll help you. And but I tell you what, it is a really, really good place, and I look forward to going. I don't look forward to the heat, but I look forward to going.
Yeah, he was talking about other events. Since they have the Nostalgia Nationals there, what would be really cool? Funny Car Chaos
Yes.
to bring it there to Bowling Green.
Oh yeah. I don't know if that would conflict, because I think they have Nostalgia Funny Car during the Wally Parks race. Robert, you are right, buddy. It is hot. And yes, as a matter of fact, we got your email and we're talking about that. You're absolutely right. I wear a hat. I try to wear the biggest hat I can wear. And I've been doing that for years. And I'm trying to talk Mitchell into doing the same thing. So we'll talk to you about banners too, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you're right. It is hot up there in August. You cannot drink enough water. But I tell you what, that's where the covered seats really comes in, because it helps draw people to watch the racing. And they stay in the stands. And of course, they go out in the pits. They tour. But it really draws them to the racing. And it helps them stay there versus going and sitting back in their cars, And so it's really a good place just for that. Very accommodating in many ways. And also when they have the swap meet is up under the trees by the river, so that whole area is shaded.
Right.
And a part of the campground's all shaded. Clint, whenever he goes up there, he goes camping when he goes racing, and he's up in the trees. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Robert. It is. That's the only thing I'm not looking forward to is the heat.
Yeah, I tell you, just want to put a bug in everybody's ear. We're trying to do something new on our page, and what it is this weekend, if you go onto our page, you're able to pick your top fuel driver that you think that's going to win this weekend at the Super Grip NHRA Thunder Valley Nationals. And it's really easy. All you have to do is like it, share the post, and put the name of the driver that you think that's going to hoist up the Wally at the end of the day on Sunday. And, one other thing we like you to do is also follow us on Facebook, become a follower, and also subscribe over to our YouTube channel while you're there doing it. But it's for $25 gift card. It doesn't cost anything to enter. It's free. So all you got to do is like, share, and put your driver down. And if everyone who gets the driver correctly, their name will go in a pot, and we will draw it. And we will contact you by messenger that you have won the gift card. And it's some kind of things that we're trying to do. I'm probably freezing up. I'm looking at the signal. One of the things we're trying to do is also try to do other things in the future, like maybe give you a chance to win a die-cast car, either it's a NASCAR or NHRA car. Maybe we can get a hold of our sponsors. Maybe you'll be able to win a T-shirt or a hat. So that's some of the things that we're trying to do. Yes, it helps draw you into our page, but it also helps us to pay back those who follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. We've got to go through the whole network there. But I tell you what, we're going to actually have another great podcast coming up next Thursday. I think that's the one with Taylor Kitchen. She has a podcast called Above the Yellow Line. Does a lot of no, I'm wrong. It's the next following weekend is Taylor Kitchen.
That's in 2 weeks. On the 19th is Taylor Kitchen.
On the 19th, yes.
But coming up next week on the 12th is stock eliminator racer Mr. Bob Bender.
Yeah,
okay, now, man's got a wonderful history, a veteran with a wonderful history there, but he drives one of the coolest stockers, a 69 Chevrolet Impala station wagon. Okay, you can't get much cooler than this. You really, really can't. Can't get much heavier either. But I think right now he's in Bristol. I think they're running Bristol right now, and that's where he's at.
Yes, he is.
But he made a tour with his buddies, including I wish you were here, Mr. Freeman. I think they made a tour together, but he did the Baby Gators, Gator Nationals, did the No Problem race, ran class there, and then went to the Winter Nationals, Arizona Nationals, and something else in between before making his way back home to Maryland. So, man put some laps in. Got down to 4 cars at Pomona. He won class at Bella Rose, Louisiana. Got runner up to class to McNeil Freeman at the Baby Gators, and he did really well at Phoenix too. I can't remember. Went several rounds. Man's been putting in some work, and now he's up in Bristol doing it again. So really looking forward to talking to him.
Yep, great racer, and even a better person. And so,
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm glad you correct me. But yes, Bob Bender, and then we're going to have Taylor Kitchen, which she's got a great following going on as they do a lot of stuff dealing with circle track, dirt racing, all the way up from ARCA to the Cup Series. And she is also an avid collector of diecast. So if you ever
you told me she's got you beat. You said
she's got me beat by a lot.
You know what I mean? I think that's always cool. Now,
there you go.
Yes, Tim. Actually, Tim, you introduced me to him. You introduced me to him at the Baby Gators 2 years ago. It was right after Miss Penny, honestly. So yeah, I think it was 2 years. I think it was 2 years ago. Anyway, doesn't matter. You introduced me to him, and that's where it really took a shine to him. How could you not, right? And so a wonderful man. Looking forward to that. But also after Taylor Kitchen, we got something interesting for everybody. We got Mr. Keith Turk coming on at the end of the month. Now, if you're not familiar with the name Keith Turk, follow Hot Rod Magazine, follow David Freiberger, okay, and follow Land Speed Racing, follow Drag Week, follow Sick Week. Keith Turk is involved in all of it. Okay, he was the one that helped originate the original Drag Week, Hot Rod Drag Week, with David Freiberger. He helped do on the tech side of it. He also is an avid land speed racer and has a 79 Camaro that him and David Freiberger ran for several years, and he still owns and races it. Okay, and Alex Taylor ran it last year. Okay, I don't know. I think he's had 7 different people get in the 200-mile-an-hour club with the car. Then he owned and operated the East Coast Timing Association for up to 15 years. Amongst other things, a man's got his hands in everything with a wealth of knowledge. And a matter of fact, he couldn't come on this week because I think he just got done with, was it Rocky Mountain Race Week or Sick Week or Sick on the Green, something like that. There's a conflict of racing that he was doing with Tom Bailey's group or Hot Rod Magazine, something like that. But we get to learn something new about land speed racing. It's something I'm fascinated about. I've always wanted to go. This man's done it and still does it. And so has a wonderful history of where drag racing originated from and where hot rodding originated from. Okay. Yep. And he has basically been there and done it and still does it. I mean, he's raced everywhere, literally all over the world. They try to take the car over to Australia. I think Australia, there's a salt flat over there. And they went 2 years and it rained out and came back the third year and borrowed a car or something like that and ran in it. Something of that nature. But I mean, they've run everywhere from Bonneville to El Mirage to everything in between. And
what's really neat about land speed racing is they used to do it right here in Florida on the beaches of Daytona.
Yeah.
And then they started running the stock cars on the beach at Daytona.
Yep.
So the history of land speed racing is just awesome. And I can't Monroe. That's the one guy that sticks out. They made a movie about him from New Zealand. And he had
that's the fastest Indian, right?
World fastest Indian. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Wonderful, great story. Not only did he come over here and do it once, but I want to say he came over here another additional 3 times and had reset that record uh, with his Indian.
That's a movie I still got to see. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's a great story. Bob Monroe.
So,
I think his name was Bob. I'm not, but I know his
think
last
you're
name
right.
was Monroe. But just a great story about overcoming obstacles that was in his way to be able to make his dream come true. Even at his age, he was an older fellow when he was able to do what he did.
You're right. You're right. And I tell you, that just goes to show the kind of people we're reaching out to bring on the show. We have a track manager and operator. We have a stock eliminator racer. We have another podcaster. And then we have a land speed racer and organizer, all coming on in 1 month. So the month of June has become the speed month for us, So anyway, looking forward to it. And,
yeah, and it looks like we're going to have an action-packed month in July as well. We'll kind of wait until we get everything filled in, all the weeks, but we already have 2 weeks filled in and trying to fill in 2 more.
Right.
And of course, we will not have a show on July the 3rd. We will reserve that for Independence Day and let everybody enjoy their families and stuff like that, and go on vacation and have fun. I think, Robert, you might be out of town. We'll probably be out of town at that time. So
yeah. I'm going to be in North Carolina and Tennessee with family, visiting them over that time. I'm not going to the foot brake race at Bristol this year. I've had a change of plans. I'm planning on going to a different foot brake race later on this year. Just the way it fell, and that's fine with me. Take care of family. But I tell you, Mitchell, you put in a lot of hard work on the page, and it's appreciated and it shows. So I encourage everybody, if it's the first time you're listening to On the Spot Motorsports Media, we want to thank our marketing partners, Scorpion Racing Products and Redline Synthetic Oil, who have been with us from day one. Great companies, Scorpion being local and Redline being world known, obviously. They work hard at what they do, and we appreciate it. And but also wanted to tell everybody, if you currently don't follow us on Facebook or on the YouTube page, we encourage you to please go over there and do it. So far, we're continuing to grow on the Facebook page, and the YouTube page is slow, but it's growing also. We want to tell you thank you for that. Same thing with Instagram and Spotify. This interview will be on Spotify in a couple days. Like I said, I know it's taking a little while to get, but there's a good 30-something interviews over there. So if that's your platform to go and listen to podcasts, add us to it. You know what I mean? And just go back and listen and to enjoy. But also,
tell you what. Well, I was going to say one of the wonderful things that we like to tell everybody is, we're going to be up at Indy for the Big Go, and we're really excited about that. Have the opportunity to hopefully interview quite a few racers in the pits, not just professionals, but also sportsmen, men and women who runs in those classes, and hopefully try to line up to some interviews with those who win class. That is a very big thing in Indy, to be able to go up there and win your class. So we're looking forward to doing those interviews for y'all. And of course, we're going to try to fit a couple of those in the professional ranks as well. We try to broaden the spectrum of trying to fit everybody's interest around the sport of drag racing.
Agreed. And and Mitchell and I both work, so it's hard sometimes getting our schedule to align for some things that we want to do and what we can do. But we're both working hard on that too. And just want to tell everybody, thank you for everything. And like I said, like Mitchell said, that the gift card, please go on there, participate in it. You'll have fun. Okay. And you'll enjoy it. And it's just our little way of starting to give back to you in other means and other ways. And we appreciate it. But if you got anybody that you would like us to talk to, like us to reach out to, please send them our way. Be more than happy to talk to them and set up a time for them to come on. And like I said, we got many other ideas going on. We're trying to work out with marketing partners and advertising partners and different things like that. So just keep coming back. But also, we encourage everybody to follow not only our podcast, but other podcasters. Drag Talk Weekly, one of our brothers, that are real close to us. Okay, they do an excellent podcast also. Also, Bobby Fazio does excellent podcast. Lee Craft, Between the Slicks, Monday Morning Racer, and there's others. For example,
Joe Costello.
Taylor Kitchen, for example,
Yep.
an excellent podcast. So we encourage you to go out and to follow other podcasters also.
All right, everyone. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you back here next Thursday.
Everybody have a good night. Take care.
Take care, everyone.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker